Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you?
It's it's always fun with this group, but it's also not. We see each other a lot, so the Vancouver-based actors we don't see as often, or Grace, who has been in Hawaii for many years, but Michael Trucco is one of my closest friends. I see Eddie almost all the time. I saw Mary on Saturday at her daughter's album launch, and so it is. So the LA group sees each other a lot, so it's not like we haven't seen each other for years, but the cast and crew became a family, and that's still today we still are. So it's like a testament to that there was something special there.
Was there a real sense of kismet on the set? You guys all talk about this harmonic convergence of how wonderful it was when you were filming. In your subsequent work, have you been able to recreate that, or is this a kind of a one-time deal in your career?
It's rare, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's completely uncommon. The show that I'm on right now, Lucifer, has a very similar vibe. Everybody gets along. Everybody's supportive of each other. We take the work seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously, which is what Tom Ellis likes to say all the time, and that's very similar to Battlestar. And so, I did a show, Killer Women, that if that show had gone on longer, it would have been the same type of scenario. So, I think quite often, sometimes when the show is on location, the crew and the cast become closer, only because you're traveling bandits, not bandits, but you're away from your own home, so you tend to get together on weekends and that type of thing. When you're all shooting in LA, you have your life obligations, your family obligations, and so quite often the cast doesn't get necessarily as close. But with Battlestar, we were all on location and saw each other all the time, and really became a family.
So if you allow one version of 6, and the rest are off.
Oh gosh, I think I'd have to choose either Caprica, just because she started the story and ended the story for me, or I also really like Natalie. I thought Natalie was very clear-headed. She was more the political one, trying to get the humans and Cylons to work together, I think, in the last season, until Boomer shot her. Yes, and shot her unnecessarily, mind you, by the way. She was not doing anything to Hera, but I think those two are maybe my favorites.
Your lifesaver. Thank you.
Well, everything was new to me as an actress at when I did Battlestar, because I'd only been acting for a year. So, but we were at the beginning stages. So I think green screens and technology has advanced. Luckily, the Battlestar, the special effects still looks good. I don't know about 10 years from now, but I think most actors coming up, if they're younger actors, have probably experienced, because they've probably been learning it in class and things like that, whereas the older actors, you didn't do that, right? But it's all about imagination at the end of the day, and you have to be able to, as an actor, tap into your imagination. Where it gets more difficult, I think, is the hardest things that I had was when there was multiple 6s. For example, there was one scene where we were in a boardroom and we were talking, and one of my 6s got shot in the head at the end of the scene. But at that time of the technology, you could have photo doubles. Like, I would be the first 6, and then there would be photo doubles. So you'd be talking to other people saying your line. But then once I had played this character, they couldn't put a photo double in there. So by the time you're playing your characters that are over here, you're talking to an empty chair. And that's a lot harder, because then somebody off camera is reading your line, and when there's multiple of you, that was a challenging scene. And also because the one that got shot, we had to do that last because of the prosthetic. They had to add the prosthetic and everything. So all the other 6s and all the other actors that were in the room were reacting to something that hadn't happened yet. And whenever you do stunts, you can choreograph it, and you know if it's obviously a fall or a harness situation or something like that, it's very well choreographed. But if it's just somebody shooting you in the head and you falling, that's kind of more in the moment. So it's everybody's eyes. It was important that everybody watched how this person fell, how this Cylon fell, but she hadn't fallen yet. You know, we hadn't shot that yet. So things like that are technically difficult. But I think most young actors coming up, they're probably studying it a little bit in class. But it comes down to imagination at the end of the day.
If we were to do this version of Battlestar Galactica again, where would you like to, like maybe for a TV movie or like a miniseries? New character missing here. Coming in, like during the course of the season. Like, is there more that you would like to explore from like one of the seasons, or maybe
Future certainly.
New Caprica missing year?
New Caprica missing year.
Yeah.
There was. I mean, the ending. Obviously, I'd like to see where they are. Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to go back in time just because, as a human, I've aged, so it'd be hard to go back. I'd like to see the kind of incarnation of how the sixes actually came, or the eights, or whatever the actual, how they became the ones that we know of. But yeah, I think I'd like to see where they are now. Are Baltar and Six out farming? Yeah. I did enjoy as well when we did. I think it was at the end of the last season we tagged it on. I think it was called The Plan, and that was kind of fun for us to tap into. You know, in the first season, Shelley Godfrey had come on and she had accused Baltar of lying or whatever, setting off, and then to see how she escaped off the ship and that type of thing. And then there was another character of mine that was in a relationship with Cavil, and that was fun just because you got to fill in and see a few things from the Cylon perspective that you didn't get to do in the actual show. So that was fun for us.
So you mentioned Lucifer now, and talking about kind of technology evolved and things have evolved. One thing that's evolved dramatically from when you were in Battlestar is that now there's this constant fan interaction online.
Yes.
It's not really the case
At all. I don't think Twitter was alive yet.
Exactly. Yeah. So how, like, I know that you guys were mentioning that would be your interaction. So how does that change, or does it change how just getting immediate feedback and spoilers and pictures from the set being posted as it's happening, compared to basically a finished product being put forward and received after the fact?
Well, there's a fine line to it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's an expectation that you have to do via the studio and the network, that they want you to live tweet, and they want you to, and of course if you live tweet there's going to be spoilers that come out, but then some people that can't watch it live get upset that you tweet something, but yet you are supposed to do it, and then there's some shows that don't want you to post anything from behind the scenes, and then some shows want you to post a ton of stuff, and some want you to post it, or take it, but then not post it till the episode airs, and so it does get kind of mind-boggling how to navigate it, and so you really do just, I think there's a new job for networks now where there's a new job position that somebody just comes in and talks to you about social media and what they're expecting from the show and what they want you to do and that type of thing. It certainly does take up a lot more of your free time. Your live tweeting, for example, if you're supposed to live tweet the West Coast, Mountain, East Coast, all that, you're not paid for it.
Yeah.
And it takes up your entire evening. You can't do it obviously if you're on set, but it's also great to have that interaction and be able to get an immediate reaction. And I think sometimes it may, not from the actor's perspective, but from the writer's perspective, it may alter some of the storylines to some extent. If they're getting a strong reaction in one way or another, they may go, oh, people are reacting to this. Let's delve further into that. But again, that's it's not really a question for me. That's more for writers if they do that or not. But it's a blessing and a curse.